Before we do get started, some of you may be aware that the CISSP exam has gone towards what we refer to as CAT, Computer Adaptive Testing. And sometimes that makes folks nervous because basically, or traditionally, the way this exam worked is you walked in, and when you sat down, your test was already made up, and there was nothing about that test that would change through any part of your examination. Well, now, when you sit down and begin your test, you'll be asked a question on a particular topic. If you get the question wrong, they'll ask you an easier question. If you get it right, they'll ask you harder. And so ultimately what they're trying to kind of assess is where you fall in the grand scheme of things. And at some point, it will be determined that you have enough information to be a CISSP certified individual. And at that point in time, the test will stop. Okay, at least 100 questions, may go up to 150, could stop anywhere there in between. They're trying to assess that you've answered enough questions correctly so that they feel confident and comfortable in your knowledge, all right? So people get sort of nervous and think, oh my gosh, if I miss something, they're just going to keep hammering me and hammering me and hammering me. That's not at all what this test is designed for. This test is really designed for a couple of things, all of which I really think are kind of in our benefit. For one thing, we're no longer sitting through a 6-hour, 250 question test. And let me tell you, when you're on question 17, and all you can think of is I've got 233 more questions to answer, that is a sad, lonely feeling. So just going from a 250 question test to one that's a maximum 150, going from 6 hours to 3 hours, that's a big benefit. You'll be able to stay fresh and sharp, promise you. And then ultimately, you're still seeing the same types of questions we were seeing before. Really, it's not like they're digging for different questions and thinking, how can I keep Kelly Handerhan from getting this cert? Right? That's not what's going on. So I want to encourage you that regardless of what you may hear in rumors about the computer adaptive testing, the CAT testing, really nothing's really changed. They're asking the same material on the same topics. It's just how they determine which questions you get at which given time are a little different. The most significant piece that this has brought into the picture is that you cannot mark questions for review. Every question must have an answer, and when you click on next, you cannot go back. So, when we review at the end of course, I'll kind of remind you of some of these pieces, but I just want to stress that to you. So that's a slightly different way. I'll tell you the truth, I think that's better. I think people tend to overthink. They tend to go back and change their answers. So the CAT is going to just take that ability away from you, okay? So we'll look on the positive, and I think the shift to CAT is really a good thing. Now, over on the right-hand side of the slides, you'll see the 8 domains, and what ISC Square puts out is sort of the weighting. So you can expect risk management. Look at that. I said this is the most important domain, and it's the highest weight of what we cover, except for security operations. And the big piece in security operations is business continuity management. That just gets really hit on the exam. So if you'll think about it as every decision starts with risk management, every decision marches towards continuity of the enterprise. And everything in between kind of enables that to happen. So really, these are like bookends on the material that we cover. Risk management to start, business continuity is our ultimate goal, and keep on going, so to speak. You can always go back to that at any point in time when you're trying to make the best of your study time and say, well, it looks like these 2 domains are the heaviest. I'll spend my time there before moving on perhaps to domains that have less weight.